guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. A great big shout out to my channel members for supporting my channel. Thank you. All right, so this is February 2025's completed coloring pages. These are the books that I worked out for this month. If you're new to my channel, these can be a bit chatty, so you might want to get comfortable, grab your favorite coloring book or journal, put me in the background, and let's get started. As I do with these videos, I will end it with the coloring book journal that I have, and then we'll just fill in some data and just cover some things. So let me get organized and I'll be right back. So the first page I completed, or the first page I'm going to show you, because I'm just going to do this in order of size, it just makes it easier, is out of this Small Victories by Joanna Basford. I have really been enjoying this coloring book just because of the size of it. I can get in and color, and the page that I'm going to show you in just a second was not quick by any stretch of the imagination, but it was easy, and it's small enough that I can actually tuck it away on my shelf and then just take it down, work on a little bit, and then just go from there. So you might actually see this featuring every single month. So the page I did was this one right here, and it's a bit of an outlier for me because I generally do not do these wallpapery mandala, and this is actually seems like a combination of both, but I wanted to kind of play and not think. I did the black background first, so I actually drew that in. None of that, or that rectangle, wasn't part of the page because I did want to contain it. And because I chose the black, I figured, okay, I can either go a route that's kind of spooky cute, because honestly, this is giving me Halloween vibes by way of the colors, or I could go light, I could go pastel, because the black will just make anything pop. And this was done over a series of actually a couple of weeks. It is done with water-based marker and then some pencil shading. There is no bleed through. There's some things there, but I don't know exactly what that is. But because this is such an open page, I could also, put an oval or a circle and then contain that. So I like that I can use whatever mediums that I want. You can see in here that there was some smudging because I did use a water-based marker and then a little bit of pencil and then glaze pen, and then on top of that a dual hybrid metallic, and it looks like some of that smudged, but again, I'm not going for works of art, I'm just looking for fun. This kind of was inspired by Ellie a few years ago. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years ago, I forget, but she did a countdown to Halloween one year out of a different Joanna Basford book, whatever she was releasing or had just released that year. And she did little vignettes counting down to Halloween, and she had used a page that wasn't necessarily Halloween inspired, but she had used colors and techniques to kind of make it into a Halloween page. And I still think about that page. In fact, there is a double page spread that Poet and I are going to do, because I don't think she's done it either, out of Mel Pimeni's book, her first one, that I'm going to do kind of in this style. I've actually had it imagined in my head for a couple of years now. And so I took the colors that I wanted. It's a pretty simple color palette. And then to kind of, I don't know if that I'm using this correctly, but kind of spookify it or just make it a bit dull the way that I wanted it to be, there is just gray pencil. That's the only pencil that I used on here versus trying to play up the colors by using vibrant colors or pastel colors to kind of tone the colors down, because you can really go either way. And you can see here the difference that using just a gray pen, it makes it kind of shadowy. I don't even know if that's the correct word, but I like looking at this page. It was a lot of work, and yet I don't mind it so much. One, because it is still relatively small, but it's also in a different effect that I'm not actually used to doing. I'm not used to trying to tone down things. I actually seem to go the other route where, in fact, I'm working on a page now that it was supposed to be all pastels, but with the additional layering that I'm putting on top, it's actually becoming very vibrant. So knowing that I can use grays and blacks to tone things down, and then, you know, depending on the color palette you're using, it really can change the overall effect. And then I think the addition of some of the Crazy Pop pens, the dual hybrid metallic pens, the glaze pens, and I don't know that there's any moonlight pens on here. No, there isn't. I think it's a very interesting effect. So I might actually tackle one of these wallpapery mandala type pages in a bigger book, just because I can do a little bit, walk away, do a little bit, walk away. And whether I finish it in that month or not, honestly, that never matters to me, because that's not how I approach this hobby. But that is a completed page out of this, Small Victories by Joanna Bassford. I completed a page out of this, Toki Maki Marsh, and I actually wrote it on the inside. Camo's Fashionable Coloring Book, and I think the artist or the studio, I don't know, is Toki Maki Marsh. And I actually have colored quite a few pages out of this, but I colored the intro page, which is this one right here. I just realized I do have a mixed media page, which will factor in when I do my coloring book journal, because this here and this here is washi tape. Now, we talked about this in January, but my coloring pages seem to favor really bright colors, which is interesting because in real life, I don't favor bright colors. In fact, I have a uniform of, if I'm leaving the house, I've got a black skirt on and then a top of whatever. It doesn't really matter, but I'm always wearing a black skirt and I'm always wearing black shoes, and the bag that I take to work is black. It's just easy. I don't have to think about it. It's simple. But when it comes to my coloring pages, I seem to really gravitate towards bright colors. Now, I realized recently that I actually don't have a lot of pastel colors. And so I'm looking at getting some pastel water-based markers, because the majority of this is actually based in water-based marker, and then some additional shadowing or whatever on top of it with various pencils. So the water-based markers that I've been using and really enjoying are the Ohuhu ones. I've got some Tombow water-based marker as well, dual hybrid metallic, Tech Jaw pencils, Crazy Pop metallic. I've got the washi there. And this was for Olga Rani's prompt of necktie. But overall, I think it's really interesting page. Now, although this paper is thick, it bleeds like you would not believe. And this isn't the first page that this has happened. But I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't even something that I plan on covering up, because I'm just assuming that once all of the actual elements on this page are colored, if they ever are, it will take away from that. And even if it doesn't, who cares? It's just a coloring page. I'm not selling this. This is not an heirloom that I'm going to graze to, you know, future generations. This is just a way for me to play with my stuff in a medium that I like. But like I said, I've done quite a bit of pages in here. So I never say I'm going to complete a book, because honestly, I have too many in my collection to consider that as being viable. But I do come back to this one more and more than most, because it's such an eclectic little coloring book, especially if I'm looking for a prompt for Olga Rani. This is one of the ones I look for first, because it is on the smaller side. But that's my completed page out of this one, Toki Maki, or no, Camo's Fashionable Walk by Toki Maki March. Now, I had seen this on several pages. I think the one that really struck me was on, I think it's Colorful Bumblebee. I'll link all of the channels below. But Maria Trolle is not an auto buy for me. I think I have 2 other of her books and they're fine. I actually don't work in them a ton. But when I saw the flip through by, again, I think it's Colorful Bumblebee, I had to have this book. So much that even though this is coming on US Amazon, I think later this year, I ordered this from Denmark, from iMusic. I will link the shop below. It's not the easiest to navigate, but just search Maria Trolle, and then you should be able to get to this book. Now, I don't know if this is the same publisher. Yeah, I don't think so, because the 2 that I have are in English. This is not in English, so I don't know if the paper is the same, but the page-ish that I've done is actually this intro page right here. And I'm counting this as just 1 page because honestly, that's just a really simple element. But I use Prismacolors, Tech Job, Dual Hybrid Metallics, Kira Rich, it's a highlighter pen, Moonlight Gel Pen, and Tech Job pencil. So I wrote that twice. And I actually thought that both worked well, but I will need to try a bigger page in here, just because, like for the hair here, I used mostly Prismacolors, and they seem to smudge. And I don't know that I've ever experienced that before, so I'll have to see. It's a very small space to put a lot of different color on it, so that could be part of it. I don't know if the Tech Job would smudge as much because they are a harder pencil. Prisma obviously is a softer pencil, but overall I like the effect. And again, there are just fairy tales are kind of, next to witches, one of my favorite subject matters, and I couldn't wait. And I think even with shipping, this was like $25, and that's not the most outrageous I've spent for a coloring book. And I thought it was well worth it. I'd actually wanted to do one of these pages because in January, the 3rd book of the 4th Wing series came out, and this is not that story, but it made me think of that. But I just did not get to it. But if you're interested in a flip through of this book, because again, I believe the English version is coming out July or August to either Amazon UK or Amazon US. I think I've seen it on someone's channel that was going to happen. Let me know, and I certainly can film it when it actually goes out. Who even knows? But this is Maria Trolle's Sagen, and I believe that means fairy tale, although I did not translate it. And that's my completed page. Now, this is the second to last book. I wasn't going to get this. Denise Klett is not an auto buy for me. In fact, I think she has 3 or 4 other books, and I have no need for them. The other one that I have is the Gnomes one, but I saw a flip through on Poet's channel. And to me, this is all of the sass and snark you could ever want in a coloring book without it actually ever saying anything sassy or snarky, but just the images of these characters. I've got the Tim Holtz sarcastic quote book. Let me show you, because I actually have both, but I'll just show you one because that's the one I see right here. So I've got these here from Tim Holtz. If they still are available on Amazon, I'll link them below. Any of my Amazon affiliate links are affiliate links, so I do earn a small commission. It does not change the price for you. We are required to disclose that information. But if these are available, I will link them, because these are not your typical positive motivational quotes. And I feel like these 2 things were made to go hand in hand. Like this page right here with this lady, So like this first one right here, just think about it. I'm sorry, did I just roll my eyes out loud? Or this one, that's a horrible idea. What time? Or, okay, this actually I think is better with her face. Don't make me say something I won't regret. So on every single page of this book, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have one of these snarky quotes. And the only difference between the two is this one is a lot bigger. This one is a lot smaller. They both have black and white versions of the same quotes. So Poet, Deb, and I did a buddy color for this. And this is the one that was chosen for February. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. This color palette to me screams sort of 70s vibes. Quite autumnal, I guess, because of all the orange and brown. Their skin kind of directed the direction of this, although I didn't even think about doing just regular skin tones. To me, goblins need to be goblin-y color, which whatever that is. This is all done in alcohol marker, as you can see. I do have a heart stencil, so I did put some hearts in the back of this because it was done during Valentine's month. Again, I'm not sure where the colors went. I'm not mad at this. And both Deb and Poet's version of this are absolutely beautiful. I did not feel the need to do any additional shading by way of pencils or other mediums. There is some shading with alcohol markers, but there's just some books and mediums that I like it kind of flat, like there is some dimension and texture by way of using different colored alcohol marker, but I could have taken this even further by doing some pencil shading or paint shading or whatever. But I mean, I felt like this page just looks amazing on its own. I'm not sure about the color palette. I do like these little bugs here. I do love their pages. And the snarky quote that I chose for this one was, "Wrinkled was not one of the things I wanted to be when I grew up." And yeah, I can see myself actually coloring this quite often just because, like, what? like something like this. Okay, it's sweet and it kind of gives me kind of zen-doodly vibes. But like something like this, when they are just pulling attitude, I mean, why is this bunny doggy thing in this one pulling so much attitude? I mean, I can think of some reasons, but just, I don't know. This might actually need to be the next one I color with that sticker that I showed you. I'm more enamored of this than I thought I would be. So this is Goblins in the Hollow by Denise Klett, and it was a buddy color with my friend Poet and Deb. All right, the final book, although there's 2 pages in here that I did, was Oceans to Stars by Lydia Fenwick. This is a recent acquisition. Both pages were done predominantly in alcohol marker, and I'll actually show you it in order of when I set them up. So this is the first page that I had set up in here, and I had, Ellie and I had, chosen this picture, and it is, again, all alcohol marker. And I have to tell you that for a while, I wasn't sure what direction this was going to go into, because I knew what I wanted her skin for, and that actually looks the way that I wanted it to, because she's a Taurus, she's a bull, and I was kind of trying to make the skin look leathery without using different mediums. And then I think these are those like cowhide things on her skin. So it didn't matter to me that they weren't all uniform, because I actually looked up a picture, and I don't generally do that, but I looked up cowhide online, and you can get all a variety of different tones on that. And then for her hair, I did want something to kind of pop out. And so I had done the various tones of pink. There's some orange and some lavender, and I like how kind of rainbowy that looks. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but in person, this looks a lot more detailed and vibrant than just the outline would suggest. And I loved the colors. I actually had a blue alcohol marker that was on its last legs, and so it actually gives you that effect like you barely got any color from it, but I was able to get at least a clean line around her, so it kind of glows. Poppy and Emerald are the colors. Ellie pointed this out because she had shown me her work in progress. I didn't choose this page because of the colors. I just chose the page to suggest, because we chose from 3, because I liked her. I didn't even realize spring, green, and pink were the colors for the month. But I think it's really striking. It took a lot longer than you would think, because there are actually a lot of layers on every aspect of this. And then this outline here is a crazy pop color, and I actually really like that. I really like the sparkle. Even the poppies took a little bit longer, and I don't normally color flowers in the way they're supposed to, but I thought it would be an interesting composition. Plus, poppies are one of the flowers that I don't know if there are a variety of different colors, but when I think of poppy, it's always the red version. And then the Tim Holtz sticker here is, she could see no good reason to act her age. And then Poet had gotten this coloring book, because I think Ellie actually had it first. I don't know. It's a blur. Yeah, I think she had it first, because I think when I did my haul video, she had said, oh, she has it. Do I want to do a buddy? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then when Poet got it, she's like, do you want to do a buddy? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And so we had a few pictures to choose from, and she chose this page. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is my favorite page of the month, because I don't know why, because between the 2 pages, I really, really like them both. And when I was looking at favorites, I'm like, can I just choose 2 favorites? But no, I'm going to choose this one just because there's just something about her and the way that I did her body that I think is so out of my comfort zone. Because normally I would have done her just regular human skin tone, and then I might have made this pastel-y or pinks and purples. But to have her just all this, I don't even, oh no, what, green and pink are the colors? This is not her colors. It's just, I don't know. There's just something about this page that I love looking at. And then I'm not sure how it is on camera, but she is covered, a lot of her is covered in glaze pen to give her a bit of a shine. Before that went on, there was a lot of coloring with various alcohol markers. I did make the page smaller just by focusing here, so that wasn't there, but I didn't feel like coloring all of that, so that's actually the first element that I did. And then I just let the white of the page peek through. I think it also makes a very interesting composition. I like how her hair kind of contrast to her skin. I like that her eyes pop. This element right here I kind of struggled with because it kind of fell in the background, but honestly, I don't care. The water element, blue is not my favorite color to utilize, but I think even with the variety of blues that I used and then using some white gel pen in here, it still makes it interesting. And then this definitely had to recede in the background. So there's a little bit of layering, but not a ton. I really wanted her to be the focus of this page. And Like I said, of the pages that I've done this month, this definitely is one that draws my eye again and again and again. And I don't know, I really, really like it. And the snarky sticker here is, I wish more people were fluent in silence. But that is my final completed page for the month of February. Let me get my coloring book journal and I'll be right back. All right, this is my coloring book journal. I will link a flip through of this because this is actually going into my 5th year in this particular journal for my coloring book hobby. And so I do have it tabbed out. Let it lie flat. And so we'll start in the beginning because I need to update one of these things, because I did have a mixed media page by way of that Camel's Fashionable March. So fairy tale, I think any of those could be a fairy tale. And again, it's my book, I'm going to do what I want. Witchy, spooky, cute, that Joanna Basford, just by way of the colors, because it does give me Halloween vibes. I did work in actually 3 untouched books. The buddy color I did, how I'm counting that is the one that Deb, Poet, and I did versus the group buddy color that I actually didn't finish. I finished a Joanna Basford page. I started on an Erie page but did not finish. I have not touched Opal. I did do a mixed media, and I have not colored anything in the office. I still actually need to film my 25 in 25. Well, I don't actually need to do anything. I'd still like to, but that means pulling a bunch of books off the shelf, and I don't know if I want to do that. So that's there. This is the color of the month. You'll see that featured in the next section that I showed you, but I completed 6 pages because, again, that one for Sagen, even though it's on 2 different pages, I counted as 1 page. And then I colored in 2 things for my bingo, an untouched coloring book and a buddy color. And untouched, we can say, was Sagen. There was actually 2 others. And then this was Goblins with Poet and Deb. I can refer to what this is, but, you know, there's no harm in adding some additional information there. For untouched books, I actually worked on Oceans to Stars and Sagen. Do I have the Goblin book in here? No, I don't. Goblins in the Hollow, I think it is. Denise Clit. And that was in February. I did pick up some new coloring books. You'll actually have seen that video before this one comes out. I'm still actually waiting on 2 more, but they were coming from Europe somewhere. I'd seen it on Wendy's channel. I did not make this most recent prompt from Olga, which is Egg. I actually had a few pages picked out, but I ran out of time. And then I didn't make the monthly prompt of Gorilla, Ape, or Monkey. It wasn't a topic that I was interested in anyway, so although I had a few chosen, I'm like, nah, I don't really feel like that. So I will definitely be on the lookout. So this is my February completed pages where I list down all the pages that I've done. Again, for the Sagen one, I did include it just as 1 page. And like I mentioned, that last Taurus page that I showed you, the Sea Taurus page, that was my favorite, although the other Taurus page that I did with Ellie was a very close second. I actually liked all of my pages this month, but that one, every once and again where I was storing it, I would actually go there and just look at it because I really did enjoy it. I did some journaling about the month and about what I've colored and you know, things like that. But overall, very happy with what I've done the last couple of months. I've already set up the March page. I don't know how many pages I'm going to do. It could be 2, it could be 20, who even knows. So I will keep this here free until I know where I am towards the end of the month or when I'm setting up for April. And then I will just set up pages as I go. So I'm not going to get too far ahead because there's really no point. I have all of this stuff here. But that is my completed pages for February. I'd love to know if you had a favorite completed page that I've shown you. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.